After weeks of secret talks, the details of Labour's deals with New Zealand First and the Greens have finally been revealed. The incoming Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, signed the agreements with the leaders of the two parties at Parliament this afternoon. So just how far was Labour prepared to go to take power? Our political reporter Sarah Robson has more.
It was all smiles as the incoming Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, signed Labour's coalition deal with the New Zealand First leader, Winston Peters. The centrepiece of the deal is regional development, with a new $1 billion development fund. Ms Ardern says New Zealand First advocated strongly during the negotiations for the regions, which she says have been neglected over the last 9 years. She was asked how the new fund would be paid for.
Well, that comes from the $10 billion of unallocated capital spending that we've set out in our fiscal plan across 4 years. So that's where that fund comes from. It will be a combination of investment in, for instance, regional rail, heavy investment in forestry.
But the deal didn't go as far on immigration as Winston Peters would have liked, sticking to Labour's plan to reduce net migration by 20 to 30,000.
Look, I accept that, but we went into negotiations sincerely to try and get a resolution, and we're happy to accept the resolution the way the Labour Party has framed it. And it just so happens that there's an enormous amount of public controversy about those two issues right now, carried by you in the media and carried by experts. So maybe it'll work out.
But there were a couple of surprises. Winston Peters wants work to get underway again towards a free trade deal with Russia. And he also wants new waka jumping legislation. He says he never understood why the original legislation, which came into effect in the early 2000s, had a sunset clause.
If you're a list member, then that's it. But if you're a constituency member, well, put it back to the electorate. And I know something personally about doing that, in terms of walking out, resigning and putting it to the electorate to gain a mandate. So I'm not preaching some sort of philosophy here. I'm preaching some practical thing that I believe in.
As expected, the Greens' confidence in supply agreement includes a referendum on legalising cannabis, which will be held at or by the 2020 election. There is also an overhaul of the welfare system, including ensuring access to entitlements and removing excessive sanctions. On the transport front, Auckland's east-west motorway link won't proceed in its current form, and work will begin on light rail from Auckland's CBD to the airport. The Greens leader, James Shaw, says it's an historic day.
I mean, the fact that we have the agreement, the fact that we are entering government for the first time, and that we have ministers who are going to be responsible for implementing a significant portion of the agenda that we campaigned on.
Tomorrow, Jacinda Ardern will announce the ministerial lineup of the new coalition government. Atu i te whare paremata mo te hōtaka o te ahi ko Sarah Robson, aho.